Welcome to the Deeper Into Movies podcast. My name is Stephen T. Hanley. I'm the founder and lead curator of Deeper Into Movies. We're a pop-up cinema based in London and New York. Today on the podcast, Abel Ferrara, the King of New York. Fuck yes. Was so excited and terrified to talk to him. He has a reputation of being difficult, but he was really fun. He was really chatty. I just got warned that he has a thing of, during Q&As, of throwing the interviewee under the bus. So I was fully prepared to get bodied by him at any point, but it didn't happen. He just corrected me on his age, which was pretty funny. You guys already know this, but Abel is one of the greatest to ever do it. Absolutely singular director. Wild career, so many bangers, and he's never compromised. He's always kept fighting big budget, small budget, studio stuff. He's always stayed true to himself, which is so inspiring. And his late period output has just been incredible. Him and Paul Schrader are just going at it so fucking hard. It's so great to see. And I need to give a huge shout out. Marek Stevens, my friend, he set up this podcast. He's a publicist. He started a movie night in the basement bar, the Alibi, East London, showing movies on VHS every Monday night. I think he was the first person to start showing movies in bars and kind of like DIY film clubs. At least the first that I came across in London. And I took over from him when he just posted a message on Facebook saying, I'm giving up the movie nights. Does anyone want to take over? Because they're cool. So I took over, and that's how Deeper Into Movies started. So literally, absolutely no fucking question, no Deeper Into Movies without this guy, and no Abel Ferrara without this guy. What a dude. So much respect. And on that note, here's me and the King of New York, Abel Ferrara. Good to see you, sir. Thanks for taking the time to talk.
Thanks for showing the movie. Appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure. I dropped you and Stephen an email a few months ago saying I haven't seen your movies in London in a while, so
Yeah, I'm sure.
we're trying to fix that.
Thank you.
We'll do Siberia and Projectionist next, hopefully.
Great. Thanks.
So I was wondering if we start on zeros and ones. I know you've wanted to make an espionage movie for a while. Did you have the script originally and adjust it for filming the pandemic, or did you build it in the pandemic?
This came from the pandemic. You know, those ideas, I mean, I had certain ideas that didn't become an espionage movie. And then I guess it morphed into this by itself, you know. I didn't have a script and change it. I began, you know, scene one, train pulls in a station, and, you know, went from there.
And how did you come to work with Sean Price Williams? He's an amazing cinematographer.
Yeah, Sean's, you know, we know each other. We go back, you know. I know the Safdie brothers. I know all these cats when they were young. You know, Sean used to work in the crew. You know, he was on the crew in Chelsea on the Rocks, you know. So we know all about Sean, yeah.
And this movie doesn't look like anything I've seen before. How did you land on that? That's a compliment.
Blame him.
No, it's great. I just love how pixelated, the night vision.
Yeah.
Everything just looks so great. How did you land upon that aesthetic?
You know, it's his style. You know, we you know, it's his style, our style, and now we kind of come together on how we really want to shoot, you know. And just take it to its natural limit. I think, it's called zeros and ones. We're talking, we're talking digital. We're shooting in Rome. He came here. It's my neighborhood. So, I know where the best locations are, and he's just feeling the real light. But, he's lighting too. We're not just shooting doc style. I mean, we're shooting documentary style, but he's lighting, he's adjusting it. We don't have a lot of guys doing it with him, but he's doing it.
And how big a crew did you have? Did this feel like the old school days of like guerrilla filmmaking?
Kind of driller killer type shit. Miss 45 type shit. More driller killer. Because of the pandemic, I didn't want a lot of people. But, it wasn't like we're out there with me and him. It was small, but we just had to protect everybody, including myself, this was all pre-vax.
Oh shit. Wow.
Yeah. So it was scary, we're testing in mass. And, I just knew you can't, the protocols that these guys come up with for this, you could read at my fucking funeral. You dig? There was bullshit, you got to make a film. I don't know, for me, it had to be about it. People had to wear masks.
Yeah.
People had to, socially distance as part of the film. You dig?
Yeah, for sure.
And kept it, small and shot quick. Yeah.
How many days shoot was it?
I don't know, 12, 13.
Oh, wow. That's really short. How was it having Ethan in dual roles?
Ethan brought it, he really brought it. He showed a lot of heart just doing it, coming here during this. We had to basically sneak him into the country, him and Sean. But we basically brought him in the trunk of a car, because like, who knew? It was like, it was lockdown and, trying to get these guys cross borders and blah, blah, blah. So, it showed a lot of courage, a lot of heart, everybody knows his abilities. So.
And how was it for you directing one actor as two characters?
It's a scene where it's a scene we're attacking basically. It's a scene. It's scenes we're doing. So if he's playing, it doesn't. I don't know. I think because we did it in Siberia and it was no big deal.
Mm-hmm.
We started thinking of it as a big deal and realized it's no big deal. And it works, if you got the right actor. So, I felt a little bit more confident, I'd say.
I know Sean a little bit, and we were talking when you were filming, and we were saying nice things about you and saying that you've managed to stay yourself for 40 years in the business. And we're talking about you and also Paul Schrader, who's just knocking it out of the park. You guys are both in your 70s. It's a big question, but what's your secret for your staying power and staying true to yourself and being an auteur and making personal movies?
For the record, I'm 70. I'm not in my 70s.
Okay, sorry. I'll edit that.
I'm 70. We're never in the business. I don't think we're, staying healthy. I stopped drinking and drugging. That was a big, I think that was a big help. And just the luck of the genes, the right genes. And, as for, my desire to make films and what I get from it hasn't changed. I started when I was 16, so it really hasn't changed. So, man, that's 50, fuck, right? That's 50, 66, fuck. I don't even want to think how long ago that was. You think?
Yeah.
But it hasn't changed, ever. No matter what condition I was in or not, or what drugs I was on or not, or this or that. It's it's what I do on the planet. And it hasn't changed. And what I get from it hasn't changed, only gets better. Really, it really just gets better and better.
Can you articulate particularly what it is that you get from it? Or just the art itself of creating?
And what do I get? I get a life. I get to express myself. I get to connect it to people. I get to, get a response. I get to, to feel like I could make a difference. That I have a tool. That I have that I was given an ability that I just didn't discard. That I didn't just drop. That I'm doing it for a reason.
Can you remember, was there a particular movie you saw that inspired you to make movies, or a film you saw that you thought, I could do that, that kind of made it seem possible?
No, I mean, I saw Bambi. That was the first movie I saw. I don't think I could do Bambi even now, but, so that was the first movie I ever saw in a movie theater, at least. Probably even on TV. I don't think they showed movies on TV when I was a kid.
Are there any directors you have remained friends with over the years?
Yeah.
That you kind of have a connection to or kinship? Because you're a very singular director. I was wondering who you...
Like, it depends where and when. Like I say, over 50 years, yeah, sure. Directors don't usually hang out with each other. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My friends are actors pretty much, and crew women, I don't hang out with other directors because they're looking for the same thing I am,
I was watching your King of New York Blu-ray. There's a really great 4K release that came out. And there was an interview on the extras where you said you got bored after a while with the style of shooting because you thought you were trying to prove something whilst making it. Do you know what you were trying to prove, or who to?
When we were making King of New York?
Yeah.
Boyan is from, he went to Czech film school. He's Italian and I don't want to get the wrong country, Bosnia probably. Okay. But anyway, he's from what used to be called Yugoslavia. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. And half Italian and he went to the Czech film school. He had he's had a very illustrious career, but he had just gotten here. We had just gotten, it was a pretty big budget for us then. And we had like total control because there was money coming from Italy, Berlusconi. And so it was a film where we had total control and we were going to, match toe to toe. There was no excuses in terms of what we could do. Mm-hmm. We shot a long time. We had everything at our, there was no excuse. We were going to take it to the limit, and we did it. Style wise, wardrobe wise, actor wise, lighting wise, camera moves wise, action wise, all this kind of stuff. That's what I meant. I didn't mean I got bored with it. It's that once you do something stylistically one way, then you want to feel like, so like then we made a film called Our Christmas.
Yeah, Vice T.
Yeah, right. Which is theoretically about drug dealing, but it's like a total other side of it. You know what I mean? Than what Bad Lieutenant was. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Does the sequel still interest you? I know there's always talk of, you had an origin story for Frank White that you thought about making.
We were going to make it our last crew, but we didn't. So, we had the script, but it just didn't. It didn't happen for a lot of interesting reasons.
Right.
I don't want to go into it.
And the other one I keep on hearing about that sounds so fascinating is your Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde movie.
Yeah, what can I say? It's like a, masterpiece, right? Stevenson, to me, I don't know, he's like, he writes this, the story was what? That somebody asked him why it was so short a story. And he said, because my wife woke me up. Right. So that's the kind of, movies I like, ideas I like that just come out of one piece of cloth, kind of fever dream kind of thing. And it reads like that. It reads like a script, and I've never seen anybody do it. Everybody does it as like one guy, werewolf style. You know what I mean? One guy turns into the other when that's not what the movie's about. It's about two separate entities. You know what I'm saying? Two people, two different people.
Yeah.
It's kind of more father and son, very father and son. That's what I would have done it as, or might do it one day.
Yeah, you wanted like, what was it, Forrest Whitaker and
yeah, we're gonna use Forrest Whitaker, 50 Cent, and I was gonna shoot it exactly word for word the way he wrote it. Okay, like I say, brilliant script written before the cinema was even invented. So the greatest script ever written was written before the birth of the movies. So go figure that.
When I was doing my homework, I was reading in Brad Stevens' book that you shot a couple of episodes of Miami Vice.
Yeah.
And that was three movies into your career?
Early.
Yeah. How was it stepping into that world of prestige primetime TV? That's probably was that the biggest budgets you were working with? And
well, yeah, you don't even think about the budget then. Somebody's shooting in the morning and then you just stepped in there and start shooting in the afternoon. This was the very beginning of Vice, like maybe the 5th episode. So nobody really even knew what the show was. You understand?
Yeah.
Or what the hell anybody was doing, So, the thing about TV is they always use people like, to direct. Like they need 22 different directors, right? Every show needs 20. So, sometimes writers, sometimes a lot of guys who aren't directors get in there for a week, but it's really not, it's a very tough gig. I would have never been able to do it as a first time directing thing. It's not a place to learn how to direct. Definitely.
For sure.
Because it's a mile a minute. It's high money, big pressure. Lots of divas. It's a big deal. But I had done a bunch of movies. Before that, I forget. I'd done Fear City. I had done 3 or 4. But I've been shooting some 16. So I've got I was like I knew what I was doing. But even then, it was
Were you nervous stepping into that world with all the pressure, or does it not faze you?
I needed the money so bad that. It was like, the only pressure I had was getting fired for some stupid shit. Which, so, no, the money was too good. It overcame the pressure.
How is your New York retrospective?
The one down at Nick's was
it the Roxy?
Cinema Village.
Yeah, that one.
It was cool. It was like going back to New York was like insane. This was right. Everybody had just gotten, the lockdown was over. Everybody was like blasting out of the padded cell. Fucking downtown is just like one big cloud of super expensive marijuana. Restaurants are out in the middle of the street. Cars it was like being in the middle of Road Warrior. You know what I mean?
Wow, yeah.
Like cars going 100 miles an hour, all kinds of vehicles going every different way, and I never seen a motorino, the small bikes motorcycles, electric wheelchairs, everybody going a different direction, bicycles all over. It was fucking, New York is crazy, man, when I got there. It was the summertime too. And, everybody wants to get fucked up and high. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, you love your movies. Outside, the bar is full of people who love your movies, and you go into the theater and there's 10 people there.
Right. Okay.
What brand new movie? Okay, here's my brand new movie. In the bar is, it's like bars are packed wall to wall. The movie theaters, unless it's, Spider-Man, ain't nobody in them. So that's New York.
How is it working with Vincent Gallo? He's a character when you were working on the funeral.
Yeah, it was kind of rough. I mean, Vinny is like, he's special. I knew it from the minute I met him. We worked. It was kind of rocky. I was like, it was just rocky at the time. But, I thought, he's fantastic in the movie. I love his direction. I really like him. I saw him not long ago, kind of like straighten a few things out. He's special. He's a cool dude.
Yeah, he's really unique. I wonder, is he ever going to make anything again? Or if there's talk that he makes...
He's just not going to show them to anybody. Yeah, that's what he told me. He says he made 3 films. He says, you know how liberating it is to make a movie when no one's going to see it, right? When you're not going to show it to anybody.
Yeah. How does that... How do you...
Don't ask me to explain that. I mean.
No, I get it. But
I'm just quoting him.
Yeah, no, I've heard that before, that he makes movies privately just for himself, but
yeah,
I guess he doesn't have to release them, or I don't know. The audience is such a key factor in films. It's kind of a strange concept.
And I think they'll be shown one day. Anyway, he's I'm sure they're worth watching.
And you're working on a movie about Padre Pio, the saint.
Yeah, we're editing it now.
Oh, it's done already?
We shot it. It ain't done, but we shot it. We said Shia LaBeouf is Padre Pio.
What drew you to making a movie about that saint? He's the saint of healing, right?
Yeah, he's a complex character. He was he had the stigmata. You know what I mean? He performed saint in the Catholic religion. He also comes from a town very close to where my grandfather comes from. I'm born almost at the same time as my grandfather. So it's kind of a parallel connection I have to him, spiritually and like family.
Mm-hmm. And have you got something else lined up as well for the future?
I better, but I'm doing a documentary on Patti Smith at the time right now.
Incredible.
All right, so...
2 more questions. Is there a movie you're most proud of from your catalog?
I mean, I'm proud of everyone we finished. You know what I mean? Everyone we got made. It's a miracle. This one's a miracle. Zeros and Ones is a miracle. So,
And what advice do you give filmmakers? I'm sure you get asked this all the time. What advice do you give aspiring filmmakers?
Follow your vision. Just go for it. Don't, there's no hesitation, man. It's a program of action, it's a medium of action. You got to, that's why you say action.
And do you watch new films from new filmmakers? Do you have time? Do you keep up with things?
The thing is, when you're cutting all day, the last thing you want to see is a movie. I read, but I got the schools around, there's a film school downstairs, I'm with these cats. I go and teach different places. I see films of friends of mine, then I'll go occasionally and judge things in crazy fucking places and see all kinds of crazy shit. You know what I mean? I'm the last person to ask about the state of the cinema right this second.
Yeah.
Ask me about 1973 and I'll tell you all about it.
I really appreciate you taking the time to talk, man. I've loved your movies all my life.
Thank you.
Thank you, buddy. Stay safe.
Thanks. Yes, same here.
Boom. Abel Ferrara on the podcast. He did that whole fucking podcast standing up. No chair. Just laptop on the desk. Him pacing back and forth. That was it. Such big boy New York energy. They don't fucking make him like that anymore. That's for sure. Also should give a shout out to Brad Stevens. His book, Abel Ferrara, The Moral Vision. Fantastic. Highly recommend it. Get it on Amazon or someplace more respectable and less evil. But get it. Great biography of Abel. Zeros and Ones is out now. Thanks to Signature Entertainment for setting this up. Thanks to Marek. Thanks to Ewan Hinselwood, my engineer. Joshua Eustace, aka Telephone Tel Aviv, for the beautiful music. You guys for listening, and I'll speak to you soon.